Let's talk a little bit about foreign policy. By the way, Peter King, a man who told the Washington Post one time they should not listen to me because I just walked out of a tent revival in the Deep South barefooted. But we'll leave that old scar to fester. So you're talking about how Rand Paul and other Republicans want to take us, move us in and become more inward-looking, more isolationist. But, Peter, you certainly would agree that whether it was tripling the number of troops in Afghanistan in 2009 or whether it was George W. Bush in 2005 promising to stamp out tyranny in all four corners of the globe and to bring freedom, you know, from places from Afghanistan to, I mean, you name it, Albania, all of. You do believe, do you not, that the Republican Party's foreign policy has been too expansive over the past decade, and we've even, dare I say, as a country engaged in military adventurism that has not put the United States first?
No, Joe, actually I have to disagree with you. Obviously, there could have been refinements to the policy. But the fact is we had to be in Afghanistan, not so much for what happens in Afghanistan per se, but if we, for instance, once you're out of Afghanistan, we have to believe what's going to happen to Pakistan, what's going to happen as far as destabilization, what's going to happen.
How long should we stay? How long should we stay in Afghanistan, Peter? Another 30 years?
No, I would say, listen, we've been in Germany now for 60 years. The fact is, Joe, let's go on. See, you're asking the rhetorical question. Let me ask you, if we pull out of Afghanistan, how are we different then from September 10th, 2001? If we pull out, there's going to be a vacuum. It's going to be the Taliban, it's going to be Al-Qaeda, and also it's going to be the Pakistan Taliban. We're talking about Islamist terrorists who are poised to come at us. So we just can't walk back and say we're out of Afghanistan. No. So this is a real go. I think we can. I agree with someone like General Keane. I think we can keep a force there of 10 to 15,000 people, so we have the right, for instance, to take what action we have to, going after privileged sanctuaries of Al-Qaeda, and to protect American interests, just like in Iraq. And here's where I would have a difference with the Obama administration. We should have had a status of forces agreement to preserve some sense of stability in Iraq, which would not have been a great risk to American troops. Every troop in the potential combat zone is a dangerous area. Having said that, we could have had a status of forces agreement that I think would have stabilized Iraq at least for the next 5-10 years, and that would have helped us involving Syria, involving Israel.
All right, well, the question is, how are we different after we pull out of Afghanistan than we were on September the 10th? Osama bin Laden is dead. Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan has been decimated. George W. Bush.
No, that's not true. Al-Qaeda is right across the border with Pakistan. They can be back in Afghanistan in a matter of days.
But here's the difference, though, Peter, between now and September 10th, and you certainly know this as well as anybody. Al-Qaeda is not geographically centric anywhere now. It's in Yemen. It's in Africa.
Absolutely.
It is across the globe. We can't send all of our forces there. And David Axelrod, we can't. You know, we can't be the world's 911.
No, but Joe, that's an exaggeration. That's the type of exaggerated debate that does not help us. Really, no one wants to be a 911.
Peter, that's not an exaggerated debate. We have been in Afghanistan since 2001.
We have not been attacked.
There are people dying in Afghanistan this week that were 5, 6, 7 years old when the war started, Peter. It is not our job to be the world's policeman and to be there for the next 20 years.
It is our job to protect the United States of America. And I'm saying if we arbitrarily withdraw from Afghanistan, we leave ourselves open for another attack.
Arbitrarily withdraw? We've been there for over 12 years. How long do you want to stay in Afghanistan?
I'm saying right now there are certain parts of the country that are stabilized. I think with a minimum security force working with Afghanistan, we have to remain there for at least the next 3 or 4 years. So
another 3 or 4 years.
I'm saying right now, let's play it by 3-4 years because right across that border, Al-Qaeda is there. They're privileged sanctuaries, and if we want to be able to go after them, we have to have bases in Afghanistan to do it. If our troops come out, and I agree with you about Karzai, I have no love for Karzai at all.
But Peter, not to be disrespectful, that doesn't change though. 3 or 4 years. What happens in 3 or 4 years?
Joe, let's improve the situation.
They're still going to be there 10 years from now. They're still going to be there 20 years from now.
Joe, during that time, we can build up for the Afghan army, which is much further along than it used to be. There are special forces in Afghanistan that are much better trained. I rely on people like General Keane and others who see a real possibility here. But Al, I don't care. My concern with Afghanistan is I don't want the United States attacked again. And you mentioned Yemen and Somalia and all those other countries. Without going into details, as David Axelrod knows, the United States does have an interest in those countries, and we are involved in various actions, diplomatic and otherwise.
But we've been there, David, for 12 years. We can't be there for 12 more years. We have spent so much money, and so many Americans have died. And while we have made progress on the margins, there will always be